Hey everyone, it's Tristan from Crafting Worlds, and today we're going to be talking about a Hall effect keyboard to end the new year because Hall effects have been the topic of this year. So, 2025, let's see what happens then. The keyboard we're looking at today is the MADE68 Pro by Melgeek, and it is a 68 layout. So, it means that, let's take a look. It has this layout. So you have your arrow keys, you have your home, delete, page up, page down, no F keys, no number pad, but a nice compact layout. So this is actually a pretty nice layout, especially for gaming, because sometimes it's nice to have these keys. I wouldn't recommend this for, say, programming or anything like that, but for gaming, which this is made for, it even says it on the keyboard. It says, play for fun, not to win. And yeah, it's very simple. It's got little rubbery feet here, no feeties to change the angle, which kind of sucks actually. But yeah, because it's kind of flat, a little too flat for me. But this also gets kind of gunked up with your fingers. So that is interesting. But it is a light, so that's something. Um, it's not super bright, doesn't shine on my screen, so it doesn't bother me at all. But here, I'll turn it off for a second. This also picks up a lot of fingerprints. Yeah. So it's an interesting design choice, to be honest. Actually, ooh, look at that. I even have a scratch on there already. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's it's kind of cheap plastic, to be honest. There is one thing in this keyboard that really kind of brings it home as a good keyboard for Hall effect, and that comes down to the switches. And these are the let me just show you here. So these switches are the TTC Magnetto Switch, king of the magnetic gaming magnetic switch. Weirdest name I've ever heard in my life. But these things are awesome. They have zero wobble. They are extremely responsive and they work perfectly. The only thing I would say that I don't like is that I'm a firm believer that gaming keyboards should have north facing LEDs, and that's so that you can see your keys when in the dark when you're playing. And when it's south facing, that's a lot harder to achieve. And these are south facing, so that's just a subjective pro and con by me. I know some people swear by south. I personally, for my gaming keyboards, like to have north because it just makes more sense to me. Um, yeah. So the keyboard itself, though, it I'm gonna do a sound test here, and yeah, I'm gonna let you decide what you think of this. Because there's a lot of keyboards in this space, right? And there's a lot of Hall effect keyboards in this space, and a lot of them sound good, and a lot of them have really good performance. And so I would like you to hear what this sounds like. So that should be pretty self-explanatory on one of the issues I'm having with this keyboard. So I think it looks nice. I think it has a nice compact feel to it. The My issue is that these keycaps and the overall dampening inside the board seem to be lacking quite a bit. And so you're getting a very hollow sound. You're getting a not only are you getting the Hall effect sound, which is already not that great to begin with, the keyboard itself, like the chassis, is amplifying it. The keys themselves are amplifying it. And you're not really getting much dampening. And so you're getting a very loud and hollow sound. So if sound is really important to you, the Made 68 Pro is probably not for you. I'm telling you though, the saving grace for this is the software and the switches, because the switches are just some of the best I have ever used. There is no wobble at all on any of these. Like, I've started to use some of these in my modifier keys on my wooting because they have a great feel, but the overall overall sound is just not great. And this layout for it is not great, you know, lacking the feet for height adjustments. You can make let me show you on the show you this. This is weird. So they gave you some customization options, but in the weirdest ways. So here it is. It's $149, so it's not cheap. Um, but let's take a look. So you got two colors. This is lovely, actually. Uh, and here's where the customization is. Where can I find this? Oh yeah. So the sides here, you can put like Lego things on it. Here it is. Yeah, side panel. You can pay an extra $10 for like a Lego side panel. And then, you know, the light bar is something. So like here's the light bar. And I mean, look, I just feel like they put the emphasis on the wrong things, but they focused on things like this light panel, which I think looks cool if the rest of the keyboard had the right sound profiles. The switches, they're great. So you're getting your money's worth with that. It has all of the things that Hall Effect has, snap tap, rapid trigger, all that stuff. And I'll show you the software in a second, but like, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like, we made it, you make it. There's a lot of these like weird things that are trying to sell you on this light or something. I don't know. Or this like side panel that you'll never see, so you can get new ones and woohoo, you can screw them in, or I guess you can make your own. It doesn't matter. It's a it's a gaming keyboard, so it's like you want it to work well. And I think second is looking well. Plus, like again, look at this. Like, ew, gross. Like that's just me handling this to show you, and like it already scratched. So if this you're putting this to travel with, which this is the size of something you would travel with, it's gonna get yicky and scratched up, and it's is it worth $149 just for the switches? You know what I mean? And the software when you can have other ones like the ones from Newfie that have a similar layout, have a really nice sound profile, or even Keychron or Wooting, to be honest, if you want to spend a little bit more and you can pick your switches and you get that sound profile. So it's like, I don't know. Um, let's take a look more. So yeah, so here, like they put a lot of these things, play for fun, not to win. It's like, okay, cool. Like I like these little accents that they put in, but they didn't focus on the overall experience before they started putting all these like kitschy things in it. So here's all your things that it can do, all the snap tap actions, 4-in-1 trigger stability, blah, blah, blah. It's got all of it. It's got everything that you would expect from Hall Effect. You can get the green Hornet magnetic switch, which I've never actually tried, and then the TTK you know, King of Magnetic Switch, that which is just fantastic. This is such a good switch. And yeah, so like if you look at this, it's not a lot of stuff inside, and so the sound is just it's kind of scratchy and clunky and loud. So here's the software. So let's take a look at this. Connects, boom, really easy, very easy to understand. Um, it shows you everything you have here. You can change your profiles, so you can have a typing profile, esports profile, default profile. Um, you can change the lighting, which is great, and it does have LEDs in it. It's just very hard to see them, but you can change what it looks like, and there are different presets. But like again, it's very hard to see these because there's no north facing LEDs and there's no see through. So like I'm changing these and honestly I can't even see the LEDs through the keys. So they're trust me, they're on. It's there. It's just not very good. I can turn the brightness up a little bit. Like you can kind of see it. It's just not here. So I mean it's there for sure, but these switches definitely don't show it that well. Um and the higher your brightness, just like any Hall effect on LEDs, the more chance that there is phenomenon, as they call it, with functionality. So yeah, it's you have to keep it at 36, which is about 50% in order to not go over, and it's very hard to see. So yeah, I don't know what super key is. By the way, I don't. This was confusing to me. I know here's our rapid trigger and where we can set our actuation points and we can select what type of switches we're using. So it's not going to calibrate on its own. You actually have to select the switches, which kind of sucks. So that's just something to be aware of. Um, yeah, so you do need to recalibrate every time you change, and then you're gonna have to do it through here. So you can do it, but that's what happens when you change the switches from what you get. I do like the wootings on the fly, and that is hard to find in other boards. So yeah, I mean, look, you've got rabbit trigger, and you can select it for the ones you want, and the sensitivity, and you can go into advanced settings, and you can change things and stuff, and it's like okay, cool. So whatever this is, I don't know. I also don't. This is not in a language that I understand, so I also don't know what this is. So th- this is frustrating to me because this should be in English, or you should have the option to change it to English. Um, but you can't. So you can also update your firmware, and yeah. So all right. So we okay. So the software is no. All right, let's have a chat. All right, let's talk. Look, I've used it in games. I've tried it. I honestly didn't use it very long because I really dislike the sound of it, the sound profile. Its sound profile is important to me. I just enjoy what does it say on this? It says play for fun, not to win. That's me. I play for fun, not to win, and so I want my keyboard to sound nice as well as perform well. So I would much rather it sound better than perform better because I play for fun, not to win, ironically. And yeah, I don't know. I don't buy this to me doesn't matter and this the lack of feet does matter. And the lack of sound proofing in there that matters. The weird horrible I don't know, the keys are just cheap. They don't feel great. And so you've got $148 keyboard that I believe you're literally just paying for the switches because it costs about that to put those switches in another board or like $100. So I would rather just get the other switches and put them in a different board. And I know they're not going to like to hear this, but I hope that they take the constructive feedback because they have a good product that looks really cool, right? And it has a good layout and it has good switches. They just really need to refine the important bits. To me, the important bits are sound profile, the way that the keyboard feels, the adjustability of the keyboard to lift up or down, and the performance of it and the software. The software is good to a point, like as in it works just as it's advertised to with all the different features that Hall Effect has. It's just really difficult to navigate. So they really need to refine the English to Chinese translations and stuff like that. It just feels like they threw it together and never really approached it again because this has been out for a while. And I don't see a lot of people talking about the fact that this doesn't really have like the software is just not it's good enough. Like I said, the two things this thing has going for it is the software and the switches, but it's not I don't know. The more I explore that software, the more I'm like, this is not as intuitive as Newfies or Keycrons or Wootings, and So yeah, I think the thing that this has going for it is the switches, and that's just not a seller for me. So, like always, we tell the truth on this channel. I hope that they can make improvements to this. I hope they can make it so it doesn't scratch so easy. It's not such a fingerprint magnet, especially where the light shines through, because that emphasizes it. I hope that they can improve the sound profile. I hope they can put emphasis on important things, not little screws for Legos on the side. I would really like to see them, emphasize the performance of it, because a Hall Effect gaming keyboard, honestly, it's not for fun. You know what I mean? It is to win. That's why you get a Hall Effect gaming keyboard. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. And yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below. I know that I have very polarizing ideas sometimes when it comes to quality control and what I think a keyboard should be or sound like or put together or the software should be. And some of you disagree with me and some of you agree, and that's totally fine. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, I will see you all next year and in the next video. So thanks for watching.